Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour presented by FanDuel. We're going to be doing a question for each team headed into the 2026 Fantasy Baseball question that you need to have answered. We'll be right back.
The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me over here, AJ Applegarth. Over on the other side, Corey Pieper. What is going on, fellas?
Not much. Well, I mean, a lot, but not much.
Who y'all got on your brackets? Who y'all got on the bracket?
I'm not saying anything because I'm going against you guys.
I haven't even.
I'm not telling.
Are we going to switch it tonight? Are we that?
One out.
What makes you think I trust you anyway?
I have one filled out.
I have Howard. Not telling you.
Oh man, you haven't filled one out yet.
Me?
I have.
Yeah, I thought you said you haven't filled one out yet.
Oh, me? No, I did like a mostly chalk ESPN one, but I haven't really paid attention much, which is not like me. So I'm going to be
all over this.
Mad dash tomorrow morning.
I will be at his house tomorrow morning.
14 hours?
Yeah. We are about ready to head out and do our normal Thursday opening day of March Madness debauchery. And I'm sure he will be sitting there with his 10 brackets on the table, just doing this. And, it's going to be fun to walk in on that.
I don't know, man. I may just do one and done and let it ride, which I don't think I have ever done. Ever.
I do not believe you.
I don't either. But
let's move on here. We've got 1 week until the MLB season and fantasy baseball season officially begins. We thought we would close things off with our draft baseball shows here with answering one big question from every single team. Corey, kudos to you for this idea. This is awesome, man. And so we're just going to jump right into things here, starting off with the Braves. And Corey, this one's directed at you, man. Jurickson Profar suspended for the entire season. Who's filling in for him? And what's the impact of this, in this lineup?
Okay, so Jurickson Profar's suspension was for the second time getting busted for PEDs. Based off of some of their offseason moves, you think they knew about it, right? Bringing in Mike Yastrzemski for a bigger contract than I think most people thought. He's always been perfectly average-ish. It's not great, but he's also never really played full-time. Last couple of years, I think he got to 140 games played. That's probably about where he gets to again, and he can get you close to 20 home runs in a pretty good lineup. I think maybe you get 70, 80 runs and RBIs. If you had told me he was your fifth outfielder, I wouldn't knock it. And it also opens up the DH position a little bit better. For now, I know our friend Jason at Roster Resource has Dom Smith in there on a platoon. Mm-hmm. What I really think it means is that when Sean Murphy gets back, we can get Drake Baldwin everyday playing time. Drake Baldwin can slide into DH, and Sean Murphy can play a little catcher, and we don't have to worry about the playing time anymore. So to me, he's like top 7-8 catcher potential.
You could. I would argue higher, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that DH, those DH at bats are there waiting for him. So I like that one.
Baldwin's been pretty good for them. I had him on and off last year, but mostly on until probably closer to the end of the year. But it was hard to not play him because he was just productive. So. All right, next up here, we will hit into the Marlins. So, Joseph, this one is coming at you. Which of last year's rookies would you rather draft? Jakob Marsee or Agustin Ramirez?
It's so tough, man, because Ramirez is the catcher, and the position scarcity there is just so bad. We know that, right? And so I think if you're just looking at pure stats, I think you want Marsee. Ramirez was good, don't get me wrong, but he's still going to have that, that catcher, playing time, possibly holding him back, which is, a thing. But he'll slide at the DH every now and then. It's not like it's the strongest Marlins lineup ever. But Marsee, like, it's weird with him. Like he played 55 games, almost 300, 5 home runs, close to 4 bases. Only took out 20% of the time. Walked about 10%. We want to that go up a little bit. You definitely know the speed is there. You wonder if you have like a sneaky. If you have like a real sneaky like 20, probably more like a 20, if he can play a full season, maybe like a sneaky 20-40 player, probably more like a 15-40 player. That's super valuable. And probably getting him, I don't know exactly what his ADP is right now. I'm looking at it, 142. I mean, you're looking at easily like 5th outfield range for that, if not farther. So like, getting a guy that isn't going to kill you for batting average. But it's just with the position eligibility, it's Ramirez, because getting the production that you're going to get from Ramirez from a really bad position, that's who I would go with.
Okay. Interesting.
AJ gets to answer the question for his favorite team, the New York Mets. This is a question that a lot of fantasy managers have going into their fantasy drafts this week. When are we comfortable taking Francisco Lindor, who I did see is now actually played in a spring training game? So how early are you taking him, AJ?
I mean, I hate anything related to the hamate bone injury. It is such a power suck for, I would say, 99% of the people that suffer from it. There might have been like 1 or 2 players that have been okay, once they got back and had a fairly quick return to power. Lindor does worry me. I mean, his ADP right now is still averaging out to just about 24. So he's at the end of the second round, possibly beginning of the third in your standard 12-team leagues. I think I would be comfortable taking him in the third. I mean, he's still a leadoff hitter. He's still productive, injury aside. Last year he played 160 games, 732 plate appearances, 31 homers. His OBP was nearly 350. It's hard to find that, like all of that in one player late in the draft. I mean, you can kind of pick and choose and collect those different stats. But again, with this injury, I don't necessarily expect the 30 home runs, but I wouldn't put it in, the teens or anything like that. I mean, he's still going to hit 20 plus homers. He's going to steal bags. So he's still got a lot of value as a 5-tool player, even with the injury. I'm okay taking him like mid, maybe late third, but you're not getting him there. I don't know if I don't.
You're never going to get him there. You're never going to get him there.
Probably not. And I would expect that, but I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. And if I miss him, then I miss him. There's plenty of shortstop depth.
I just think the fact that this happened in the spring and he's going to be back before opening day, like you see like an immediate, power drop, but like players have been able to bounce back from this pretty quickly. The first few weeks they're back. Maybe it drops, but like look, Lindor usually has slow starts of the season, so hey, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Just going to be normal for him. So,
yeah. Well, like I said, I'll probably miss out on him most places, but that's okay. There's plenty of other Mets in the sea for me to get.
Yeah. All right, Corey. Let's move on here to the Washington Nationals. Dylan Cruz, prize prospect coming up, had a pretty good, rookie season here. But his second year wasn't so great, hampered by injuries. What are we expecting from Dylan Cruz? A little bit of a bounce back, or are you worried?
Oh, I'm worried. I'm worried about Dylan Cruz ever living up to what was expected of him with the first pick overall. Actually, it was the second pick overall, I think, of his draft year, and that was right behind Paul Skeens, who's obviously otherworldly. But last year, like you said, about half the season, 85 games, 10 home runs, 17 steals, but a 208 batting average and a 280 on base percentage. And it's okay. So we talk about not really worrying about spring training. I'm a little worried here. The dude is 3 for 28 with 3 singles.
Yeah.
3 for 28 with 3 singles. He has not had a extra base hit yet. So a 107 batting average, a 188 on base percentage, and a 107 slug. I think the only thing you can really bank on is the stolen bases. I think he's going to give you 30 steals, but 10 home runs, 30 steals, and the batting average could be scary low, like 210 to 225 levels of batting average in a pretty poor Nationals lineup. So I guess if you are... I don't have the ADP up in front of me right now. I feel like he goes around rounds 10 to 15-ish range typically. And unless I really need speed at that point, I will likely just pass on Dylan Cruz.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, I don't. Another guy that I probably won't end up with a lot of rostership on. Okay, well. Now it's time for me to ask the question about my Phillies. So, Joe, when are you comfortable taking Mr. Zack Wheeler?
Man, I think if there's an IL spot, I'm probably willing to go after him in like the 120 range. I think he's a good enough pitcher that – the more I kind of dug into this, I know we talked about his injury early on, and it was sort of like we're just fading him big time because it was the Spencer Strider injury. But it was it is a slightly different injury than what Spencer Strider had. It's similar, but it is different. But there is enough concern there that I would never draft him at his cost, and even him missing he's expected to miss a couple weeks, maybe a couple months or a month, maybe. I forget exactly what it is.
He might be like a month and a half at most.
A player like him, if he were only going to miss like a month and a half of MLB game action, would probably still be going in like the 60 range. I feel like he's just he's that good, right? He is a dominant pitcher. If he's super healthy, right? If he's coming into the season healthy, he's arguably top 5 pitcher, right? So you would be getting him at a major discount because of total season stats. With the unknown of how he will recover from this injury, and based upon what we saw from Spencer Strider and still are seeing from Spencer Strider, despite it being a slightly different injury, I will bump him down another 50 to 60 spots from that, and I think that's fair, and it's still a risk. It really is, because you can find some pretty good pitchers back in that range. Just if Wheeler hits, that is a home run of a draft pick.
Absolutely. He faced hitters, live hitters. I think it was last Saturday maybe, and it sounded like he came out of that feeling pretty good. Obviously, it's one outing. It's hard to
he threw live BP. It sounds like so.
Yeah. So
hitters Saturday. Sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, even last year, he was basically 50 innings less than what he pitched in 24 when he was, I believe, second place in Cy Young voting. And he had 224 strikeouts in 24. He still had 195 in
he was
50 less
ridiculous
innings last year. He was so good. And the ERA was still right there with 24 and really with 21 and 22. I mean, he's just a strikeout machine. He's, when he's going out there, he's not going to have a massive blow up game. Maybe 1-2 max a season, I feel like. But he's super dependable and super consistent. That said, with him averaging around the 10-11 round right now, I mean, as a homer, I'm willing to take him earlier and see if he hits because I think he will. But like you said, there is a lot of talent there, so it's kind of hard to hit that.
Okay. Transitioning from the National League Central or from the National League East to the National League Central here, I will ask the question of my Milwaukee Brewers to Joseph. Who gets the most saves on the team between Abner Uribe and Trevor Megill? Both are going fairly early in fantasy drafts, and I feel like people are going to be disappointed. At least one person's going to be disappointed. Who are you hitching your wagons to between Uribe and Megill, Joe?
I really want to say Megill.
Megill?
I just feel like, he has been given the chance a couple of times and really never disappointed. Uribe's good, don't get me wrong, but I do also feel like they like to throw him in that put out the fire role, right? Like, and they've done that so many times with him. Either one would be absolutely great to be. You're at this point closer. Yeah, I think they're actually going early enough that it probably would be like your second reliever. But because we don't know, I am absolutely out on both of them at draft cost. I'm not burning a you mentioned their ADP. It is fairly early. It is 142 and 174. Yeah, not super early, but that's early enough for me that I'm not burning that cost. If they were going in the 200s where some of these other committee closers were going, yeah, I'll take a shot on one of them. That's too high of a draft cost for me for a complete question mark. Sure, you're getting good ratios and good strikeouts from these guys, but in saves only leagues, nope. That's not worth the draft cost for me. All right, over to the Cardinals. AJ, is there a single pitcher? We could literally go over to the offense on this one too. Is there a single pitcher that is draftable from this team? It is not pretty.
Is Adam Wainwright still playing?
He's
still there?
Oh man!
Can I get him as a closer
throwing
again?
back the clock?
Man.
Yeah, we're looking at a Matthew Liberatore, Dustin May, Andre Palante, Michael McGreevy, and Kyle Leahy. Outside of Liberatore and Dustin May, I'm gonna guess that a lot of people have no idea who these people are, and there might be people who don't know who those first two are.
I'm sure there are. People go and look to stream, and they're like, "What? Who? Okay.
Why is the entire Cardinals pitching staff available?"
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, someone's going to draft somebody, but I'm not interested in these guys as more than a streamer. I mean, this is the flat out definition of closer by committee because they have Riley O'Brien, they've got JoJo Romero, they've got Matt Swanson, and they've got Ryan Stanek. all listed as closers on Roster Resource and Fangraphs. So out of
He
those,
should be Jojo Romero, but whatever.
Romero is like the only player that I'm quasi interested in, and I do think he'll ultimately take the closer role with Stanek. Just with his experience, I feel like he's a serviceable back end bullpen guy, but subject to getting blown up too. So yeah, I mean, Romero's probably the only guy that I would say would consistently be getting drafted in standard 12-team leagues.
That's not good. Dustin May is sort of like a last couple round guy that you're like, yeah, I mean, he had the pedigree at one point, kind of fizzled out in LA, maybe change the scenery, but that's like legit. I was gonna say that's like legit the only reason,
he's somewhat intriguing.
That's it though.
He's massive on there. He's 6'6", but he's 180 pounds. That's like string bean, territory. He still has a good K percentage at just over 21 last year. Walk rate's pretty low, and his ground ball rate's 42-43%. So there's stuff to like, but the ERA is not one of them. So I don't know. I think May, until he can kind of show that pedigree that he worked his way up through the Dodgers system with, but never necessarily showed. I would want to see a good chunk from him before I would feel comfortable taking him in and kind of riding a hot hand if he does start showing out.
Agreed.
But other than that, yeah, that's a no for me, dog. All right, Corey, looking at the Cubbies here, are you concerned with Seiya Suzuki's knee injury enough so that you're dropping him down your boards?
A little bit. So this was the big, I think the only really World Baseball Classic injury that we got. He strained his PCL. Craig Counsell said he won't be shut down. He's going to keep doing baseball activities, but I think it's also possible that he starts the season on the IL. I don't think it's going to be anything long-term, but I also think they're going to be uber cautious with him. I was trying to look at the ADP on NFBC just for the last couple days. I couldn't remember exactly when it happened. He's still going about 90th there, which is about the 8th round, 9th round, something like that. Probably not. I probably wouldn't take him that high. I'm looking probably more like outside of the 10th round, somewhere around pick 120, something like that would be about where I'd probably consider him, just in case the knee injury lingers in there. So I'm going to be a little bit more cautious, but I can see why people are still willing to take the risk on what's a pretty intriguing power profile, actually, in Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like last year, sorry, just to mention on Suzuki, he was for a while there, he was thought of like as a safe hitter, right? Batting average, decent power numbers, nothing crazy, right? But then all of a sudden last year, the batting average dropped to like 245, and then boom, 32 home runs. Like, okay. So yeah, I mean, he's one of those, like, you don't even really know what kind of player you're getting from him, which is kind of another reason why I've kind of faded him in drafts, is because I don't like taking those players where it's like their profile completely changed. And then it's like, well, how do I build a team around them if I don't know which one I'm getting? So.
Okay. Sticking in the National League Central here to the Pittsburgh Pirates. This question is for Joe, and it's a prediction question. Which member of the Pittsburgh Pirates leads the team in home runs this year? I picked it down to 5 for if you want to throw, if you're a huge Nick Gonzalez stan or like Jared Triolo, I guess you can pick them. But I'm assuming that you're going to pick one of these 5. O'Neal Cruz, one of your favorite players, we know. Brian Reynolds, the man of all time. Brandon Lau, Ryan O'Hearn, or Marcell Ozuna. So we got the 3 new guys: old, reliable Brian Reynolds and Joe's favorite player, O'Neal Cruz.
I I'm not going to go with my actual favorite player on the team, and that is Brian Reynolds. For various reasons. If you watched a couple shows ago, you'll find out why. No, I'm going Marcelo Ozuna. Like, I'm 35 years old. I don't care, man. This guy, 1 year removed from 39 home runs, year before that 40. Power is still there. I believe it is. I don't think last year was the Marcelo Ozuna that we are going to get again this year. And RBI totals and things like that may not be there because it's the Pirates. Look, the offense is a little better in Pittsburgh this year, but it's still not great. So, but I think honestly, I think O'Neal Cruz is the only one that could compete with him, and that would only be if Ozuna kind of has another down year. We know what O'Neal Cruz is. He can hit the piss out of the ball, but it's just, can he hit the ball at times, right? That's the problem with him. And so that really lowers his home run total.
Is that a skill you need to be able to hit the ball? I suppose it helps.
Make contact. Yes, that does help. All right, finishing off the NL Central here. AJ with the Reds. Chase Burns, man, there's a lot of talk right now that he's not going to open the season in the rotation. The Reds aren't really liking what they're seeing. But then, they threw him in a 24-pitch bullpen session, and apparently they like the way he looked. So what the hell is going on? What do we expect from Chase Burns, who was kind of a sleeper pick for a lot of people? Like, he wasn't going super early, and he's a good pitcher when he's out there, or at least we thought.
No, I don't really agree with that. He was second pick overall in 24, but he did not have a great showing last year with 4.57 ERA.
The strikeouts are, I think, what get
strikeouts are there.
Intrigued.
Yes, but if you're getting the crap hit out of your pitches when you're not striking people out, it doesn't help your fantasy teams. It sounds like he's been told that he's making the opening day roster along with Rhett Lauder and Brandon Williamson, but it seems like there's only 2 starting rotation spots for the 3 of them. So, who knows if they're going to kind of piggyback off of each other because of all the injuries. If one's just going to end up being long relief, or, who knows what's going to happen there. I'm not personally interested in Burns at all. Maybe that'll bite me if he can kind of pull things together and, continue to miss bats and do it at a higher clip so he's not getting that ERA damage. And again, last year was a bit of a smaller sample size. So there's definitely room for positive regression, but I'm staying away with it, from the situation altogether.
So I want to
he definitely
talk
had
on this
some
one for a
games last
second.
year, man, where it was like, oh boy, this dude is amazing. And then he got lit a few.
I believe I have drafted 4 teams, and I have 4 shares of Chase Burns, and then we have a 4-person keeper team, and I have a share of Chase Burns there. So I was all in. I'm all in. I'll ride or die with it. I think he's awesome. I don't know what Terry Francona is doing. I do agree with AJ that it's going to be some piggyback starts to keep his innings a little down. But I think on a per inning basis, Chase Burns is one of the best 20 pitchers in baseball already. So
you got to remember his ERA. His ERA is slightly inflated by one out,
really, really bad start.
A 1 out start where he allowed 5 earned runs against Boston with no strikeouts. It's a bit of an outlier.
The numbers are the numbers, man.
Yep, they all count.
They all do count. He's not wrong.
All right. Moving over to the NL West.
Yes, let's start with the D-backs here in Arizona. Joe, are we back to taking Corbin Carroll in the first round?
If we're not, we're super, super close, man. He did play, and he hit a home run. So talking about the power he already shows, he's got it back a little bit. I'm not as worried about I'm not as worried about Lindor or Corbin Carroll. The fact that they're like already back in baseball action makes me, very optimistic that they will be just fine. Obviously, Corbin Carroll has other injury, concerns. He just seems to always have something going on. He just plays hard. He dropped to probably 15, 16 at worst ADP, so there wasn't a whole lot of concern about him, honestly, not as much as Lindor. But I think Carroll's another one of those guys where obviously a 30-30 threat. The run total is amazing for him. So I think, especially because 4 or 5 outfielder leagues, that's a position you need some depth at, and I think that's why I would pull the trigger on him. And I did in my Earth League draft. I took him at 11. I said, screw it, let's go.
Yep, I'll take him inside. I'll take him right around pick 10 now again. So any league, I'm really looking to take Corbin.
Because I think before the injury, he was probably going around.
I'd have taken him at 7.
7?
Yeah. I'd have taken him at 7.
He was going right around 7. If you were willing to take Skubal first, then you took him around 7. If you were probably taking Skubal after, then you were taking him at like 6. And I think that's fair. So you're still getting a discount on him, in my opinion.
This question here, the one that I'm asking, comes from one of our guys on the Discord. Was asking it. So if you get a chance, go to fantasy6pack.net. Plans, and you can join the Discord for free. And if you want a little bit more access, go ahead and become an all access member. What's the code, Joe? I forget the code.
F6P pods for 15% off. Scroll on there on the bottom. It'll be in the show notes as well. So
there we go. F6P pods. You can join up and become an all access member, and you get to ask questions like this. One of the guys in the Discord asks, where are we taking Ohtani just as a pitcher? So a lot of leagues now starting to break him up into 2 players. I think Fantrax is doing it for the first time this year. It's their standard format. Yahoo's done it for years. We know where the hitter goes in the top 2 or 3, usually in the top 1 or 2. And pitcher only. AJ, where are you taking him?
If it's pitcher only, I mean, at this point this year, I would anticipate a full workload again. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, he's still only DHing when he's hitting. I honestly don't know where I would want to take him. I feel like if it's only pitcher that I'm looking at for him, I'm still going after a lot of these guys who I know are going to get more innings. I mean, he's a phenomenal pitcher, but I would probably put him. I mean, I would put him after Christopher Sanchez. Obviously, I'm a bit of a homer there. I mean, even Brian Wu, I feel like I'd want.
A no-brainer.
Yeah,
I'm putting him lower than that.
I'm putting way lower, man. Push.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I mean, like
here's another
Cole
homer
Reagan,
question: Jesus
stick around
Luzardo, or Shohei Ohtani for you?
Well, I mean, for me, that's also
you
a
can homer
no-brainer.
out. That's fine.
I think Luzardo is going to have a big year, and he just got his extension. So
Further
I think
homering out for you. No McLean for Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani. McLean killed it for me last night. Freaking bum. Cost us the game along with all the bats.
So somewhere
him
around
and Whitlock are like the 2 damaging pitches. But yeah, I'd probably take Ohtani over McLean, especially with him being, rookie-esque. Innings aren't going to. Well, I mean,
so you're around 20-ish. You're somewhere probably around.
I would say,
25.
yeah, I think so.
Joe,
I would take Peralta over him. So
Ready Peralta? Yeah, I take Peralta over him.
Yeah,
I think Roto Leagues is tougher, man, because like you really want those like accumulating stats, right? The per game stats are phenomenal from him, and we know that, right? I think on like a per game status, you're probably looking at like I don't know. I mean, he's in this like jumbled mix for me on like a per game status. In with like Dylan Cease, Eovaldi, Kirby, Woodruff, a healthy Woodruff, Peralta, those types of guys, right? On a season-long basis, though, he drops like a rock for me because I do think the Dodgers are going to value his bat more, and they should. Their pitching staff is incredible, so they don't really need Ohtani to pitch. They'll throw him out there for 4 innings a game and let their bullpen figure it out, right? Like it's just, and I mean, I know he pitched today or yesterday, and it was just incredible, like four lists already. Like, he can do it. But are they going to risk losing his bat because he could pitch when they've got, a team and a half worth of starters, for an all-star team at this point? It's just ridiculous. I don't think they're going to risk it. So I think it just depends, like, head-to-head category leagues, things like that. I think head-to-head leagues, you can probably risk it, and just that one start a week is going to be awesome for you. Roto leagues, I think I would push him down a good bit, and I probably won't get him in a roto league if I was pitcher only with him.
Cool.
All right. Next up here, we have Joe asking about the Giants.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's me. Corey. Luis Arraez, where are you ranking him as a second baseman? We know the batting average. Just there's a lot of other lacking things from him, but he's elite when it comes to making the contact.
So his overall ADP is at about 237, but I think a lot of that is very much right now in nearly every format he is first base only eligible because of what he played last year. But after signing with the Giants this offseason, they've made it clear he's playing second base and batting leadoff for them. So, you got to eat the 10 games, 20 games a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is in your league to get it. But then he's back to eligible at the position that we've all pretty much said throughout this entire draft process is the weakest of the positions. And I'm looking at it now, and I think you can make the case he's a top 12 second baseman. I'm taking, Jazz, Cattell, Bryce Turang, of course, ahead of him. Nico Horner, I take ahead of him because I think he's got the speed. And Altuve, Keyshaw, Elbies, Lau. I don't know. What's Xavier Edwards do that? I guess he gets a few more steals in there, but I trust Luis Arraez's batting average. Yeah, okay, but I trust Luis Arraez's batting average more.
20.
Sure.
I don't know. I guess I'll take Matt McClain ahead of him. It's somewhere. I'd take him around 14, I guess. I'd put Matt McClain ahead of him at this point. Stott. Something like that. I'll probably take him ahead of Marcus Semien, though it's a lot safer profile. Torres, it's a lot safer profile. So I'm just thinking, don't just look at first base and say, well, I can't take Luis Arraez because I'm not going to get any power out of a first baseman, because in 2 weeks, you might not get a lot of power out of him, but if you tell me I can slot a 300 batting average into a terrible second base spot and get decent runs from a leadoff hitter, I think he's about top 15 second baseman. And if you just notice that he's at first base, you might not value him like that.
Yeah,
I would agree with like the Marcus Semien. That's actually right where I have him. Like the Otto Lopez, Marcus Semien, Brandon Lau range. It's so hard to push him up above that because he just doesn't provide a whole lot else outside of batting average. He just doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'll take the field here with the Padres. Papas from Will's, you know what? Joe, how much of Ramon Laureano's 2025 is actually repeatable for 26?
Man, I've always been a huge Laureano fan. I do think last year was probably the best season we're ever going to get from him. Not only can the guy almost never stay healthy, right? But we saw a career low strikeout rate, which hopefully stays, but whatever. But we saw like a career high slugging, career high home run to fly ball ratio, like a lot of things is winning. And I don't know if at the age of 30, all of a sudden you figure that out. I think maybe that might have been a little bit of a fluke. So not very repeatable. Is there another like 20 home runs in his bat for him if he can play, 130 games again? Sure. But think the batting average drops. I still do like him as a player. He's in a good lineup. They're planning on batting him in a pretty nice spot, I believe. Last time I looked was
sixth is where he's at on
sixth. I mean,
right now.
look, so RBI potential
terrible,
could be through the roof for him. Honestly,
Yeah.
man, like you got Bogarts, Merrill, Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth. Cronenworth. I mean, honestly, you could flip him and Cronenworth easily, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But that's still a lot of on base. You know, a lot of guys on base in front of you, in my opinion. And I think if he can stay healthy, I think 20 home runs is easily doable. Batting average is a little questionable, but yeah, I think he's fine. Again, repeatable, no, but I think he's fine, and his ADP isn't. I think people realize that his ADP is not high. So
yeah,
I'm talking 216 ADP over the last 3 weeks on NFBC. So yeah, you don't have to pay for it.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a fringe play.
Another fringe play here is the Colorado Rockies, just all of them in general. But we'll talk about Jordan Beck here, who has an ADP per fantasy pros around 259. So one of the last picks you can actually make in your draft, and that's for a guy who went 16 home runs, 18 or 19 stolen bases, almost a 260 batting average last year, and not quite a full amount of games. Are we not treating him why is he not being valued as a 2020 option, AJ?
I don't know. I mean, he'll be in his age 25 season. You know, again, he's a guy who's hitting fifth in a lineup that, yeah, it's Colorado, but Tovar can get in base, and kind of make some ruckus with potential steals. You got Goodman in front of him, former Philly Mickey Moniak. I mean, he's kind of, what he is. But, I mean, he kind of had a bit of a resurgence over the past few years. So, as much fun of the Colorado Rockies we make and in fantasy, and mostly rightfully so, they do have kind of some sneaky good players. And I think Beck is one of those guys. I think he can definitely get to 2020. Colorado doesn't hit like it used to, but it still hits pretty damn good. So, as long as his average can maintain around that 250, maybe 260 plus range, I think that's going to help his cause. OBP is not great. You're not really looking at him for that, but as long as his average is okay and he can get some hits and find himself in positions to get more steals, I can easily see him doing it. And especially for that draft cost, it's like where else are you finding guys, potential 2020 guys? How many of them are there at the dead end of your draft? Not many.
That's true. That's true.
NL down, onto the AL.
I will say, hey, can I just say one thing? So, Corey, you and I are in. We're doing this fun, new thing. This beta that we're in with the Trash or Sabotage League. You guys really want to start drafting Rockies? Let's play in this league. You get points for bad play. You get points for hitter strikeouts. You get points for pitchers losing and allowing hits. It's kind of fun. A lot of Rockies are off the board already. Just to say, especially
my point exactly.
It's really fun, but it's a brand new thing. It's not out in the public yet. We're kind of testing in the background, but it's something to look forward to. I'm having fun doing it despite some of the hiccups that we've had. It is a brand new thing, but kudos to Adam who is pushed out as one of our members, and I think it's really going to be something once it really gets rolling.
Cool. All right, let's move it to the AL East.
AL East, the defending AL champs here, Blue Jays. Corey, Max Scherzer, anything you're interested in based off of his spring that he's had?
it's been a good spring. So he's made 2 starts, 8 2/3, so nearly a full game. He's given up only 2 hits, 3 walks, hasn't allowed an earned run, struck out 6. So he's 41, 42 years old now. He is 41. He'll be 42 in the middle of the season. He has pitched 85 innings last year, 43 the year before that. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a time throughout the season where I look at Max Scherzer's matchups and I say he's got 2 starts and 1 falls against, I don't know, Cleveland and something else. And I say, okay, I'll use Max Scherzer. But at this point of the season, if I'm drafting Max Scherzer, it's still probably the last 2 round picks, maybe somewhere in there. I'd still be interested in just taking a shot. And it would be if he struggles in the first start or, something like that, I'd move on. I'm not like pushing Max Scherzer up based on his Hall of Fame pedigree, but it was interesting to see that he's off to a good start, and I'm sure he'll start in the rotation. So I could see taking him with one of your last picks.
My guess is he will be on the waiver wire many, many times this season in a lot of leagues. He will be streamed constantly because when he plays the Yankees and when he plays the Red Sox, and if the Orioles offense can bounce back and when he plays them, nah, I'm out. But when he plays the White Sox, maybe.
Maybe.
Another team who's going off the board quickly in that trash league. It's fun.
All right. Going in with Dem O's, hon. Orioles here.
Let's read this question
Which
now.
young players, for you, Joe, obviously. Which young player are we taking a chance on between Sammy Basayo, Kobe Mayo, Colton Cowser, the Moo Crew, and Dylan Beavers? Great name.
Sadly, not Beavers.
Sounds about
I'm gonna
right
say AJ, you like the Beavers name because you're Oklahoma State fan?
Oh my!
It is?
Oregon State. Beaver
Oregon
believer.
State. Yeah, sorry, I knew it was an O State. Sorry. You're an O State
Still
fan.
orange.
We're gonna go with that. Man, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't really love any of these guys. I would have said Basayo, but man, his ADP was like ridiculous all off season. Just because I think everybody, like, the hype around him is unreal, right? He crushed the minors, but really struggled when he came up last year. I don't really know what to expect from him. They got him slotted in a DH. He's not going to play that every day because this lineup is, they've got so much depth still, even though none of it's like quite as elite as it once was. So he's not going to play every day there, but he will slot it in a catcher. So that gives him a bit of a boost. I don't know. Honestly, man, can I just say none of the above? I just don't really like any of these guys.
I mean, you can.
I just don't. I really don't. I really do not want to take a chance on any of these guys. I mean, I would have said Cowser, but I think he's still in the platoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can pick none of them.
So that's what I got. Sorry. Not a good answer.
That's a good answer. You had to answer it the way you had to answer it, man. I will go and ask the next one here. The Tampa Bay Rays, their bullpen can be hard to figure out at times. So, AJ, who leads this team in saves? We have Griffin Jacks, who did he give up? No, you're right. It was Garrett Whitlock, who pitched an inning last night. He's been looking pretty good for Team USA. Edwin Uceda is currently injured and will be starting the year on the injured list. Or Garrett Clevenger. I guess if you want to throw in a different name, you can throw them in too. Or otherwise, who's your prediction to lead this team in saves this season?
I mean, this is tough because all 3 of these guys are very, very tight stats wise, or at least the stats I look at for a closer. K percentage is all around, last year it was 33, 35, 32. Walk rate was all around the same, 8.4. You got a 7.4. And then you got another 7.4. The big difference for me here is Clevenger's ERA was a 2.35. I expect that to go up, but he's. I think it's between him and Jax personally. I think Uceta can get some saves and will be used in some situations to get saves. But again, this is like a sheer closer committee between these guys. I'm gonna lean with Clevenger personally. But I mean, it could be him or Jax. I think would be the two options that should get them. It's going to be one of those. I'm going to go with Clevenger though. All right, Joseph. Red Sox. Blue Sox.
Sure, man.
White Sox.
By the way, I think it's Uceta when he comes back, and if he's healthy, until then it's Jax. By the way. Anyway,
guess we shall see.
Sorry, you're wrong, AJ. Red Sox.
Maybe not. I'm wrong in your eyes, but I'm always right in my own. So.
Sure, man. Sure. All right, Red Sox. We've talked a little bit about the middle infield here for the Red Sox, which was a little up in the air. We got Griffin, we got McGonigal, we got Weatherholt, Marcelo Mayer. Where does he fall into that mix?
Yeah, so these are all the rookies, and it feels like Marcelo Mayer should be older than he is because it's kind of like Andrew Painter, where there was talk that he was going to be up after or during 2023. He's battled some injuries in there, has never actually got up to the end of last season for like 44 games, but officially still rookie eligible, and he's still just 23. He is not old by any stretch of the imagination. And he is also projected to have an opening day spot in the Red Sox lineup. I think they have him actually slated in a platoon on roster resource with Monasterio, but the strong side of it, an okay spring training here, 6 for 24, 4 runs, a home run, 2 RBIs. Encouragingly, 7 strikeouts to 6 walks. I don't think he has, Kevin McGonigal might hit 300 as a rookie. That's in there. Connor Griffin, we talked about the flashy stats last week, the 70 steals, the 40 home runs or whatever it was last season in the minors. And the other guy we talked, JJ Weatherholt, is a leadoff hitter. I think is probably a little safer, but I think if you're, looking for a middle infielder late in your drafts, Marcelo Mayer's got to have an extremely late ADP. And if he finds his way into regular playing time, say he comes out and he starts off good enough that he's going to solidify the second base role, there's a sneaky 15-15 skill set in there. And so, if you're looking for someone late to play middle infielder, just remember that Marcelo Mayer's still only 23, playing in a really good Red Sox lineup. And I think he could be a really balanced option for your middle infield at the end of your drafts. Good.
I agree.
AJ?
All right. So next up with the Yankees. Any interest here, Joe, in Will Warren, Luis Heel, Ryan Weathers until Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Clark Schmidt return?
Honestly, I think the only one I'm actually interested in, Weathers kind of. I actually think he could stay in the rotation slightly, over a couple of those. So probably him a little bit. I still think the one with the most upside is Heel. He has been, we saw like dominance from him before, and injuries got him. Maybe that's gonna keep him down, but I think there's still something there with him. I don't think that's totally gone. And look, if he starts out the season pitching like he did, post injury, or pre-injury, I think they're not going to find a way. They're not just going to be like, oh, well, they're back, so now you're out. Like, they're going to find somebody else to take out. And honestly, Will Warren, as much as he had amazing games last year, I could never figure. Corey, you and I had this conversation like a billion times. It felt like every time I thought Will Warren was going to be bad, he was really good. Every time I thought he was going to be really good, he was really bad. Craziest pitcher last year, just blew my mind. I could not figure out when to start him. he's the type of guy where it's like maybe he's a bullpen, maybe he's a long relief guy. Maybe that's what they do to him if he comes out and pitches, heel that is, if he comes out and pitches, the way that I think he can still. And totally free. I got him in an Earth League. I got him like second to last round. So like it was like round 29, man. Like you don't have to draft him in most leagues. So he's going to be out there. So that's another reason why I like him. It's just there's no draft cost around him.
Cool. Way to find yourself a Yankees pitcher here. Going to the AL Central, starting with the Cleveland Guardians. So on Sunday of this previous week, we record these on Wednesday night, Jose Ramirez dove back into third base, was taken out of the game right away. They said just shoulder discomfort. I believe they've since said that it was, I don't think the word was jammed, I believe they used. It did not dislocate or what's the word, that subluxation that Fernando Tatis has dealt with on and off. But he has not played since. Apparently he's healing up. Is it concerning enough at all, Joe, for you to drop him down even within the first round, or are we still comfortable taking him in that top 6?
So I haven't actually updated my rankings since the injury, but honestly, yes. I would drop him a couple of spots just because, you never know, man. Like these injuries, sometimes players say they're good and they're not. And, they try to play through it. Teams are stupid and they don't give him like MRIs when they probably should. Right? It's like, oh, there's a little swelling. He's fine, though. Like, no, he's really not. Just give him the damn MRI or X-ray or whatever. Just figure it out. Houston. I
was just thinking it. I was like, oh, man, I got to get Houston into here. And then you said it.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, like, you do have to be concerned with something like that. And it's just one of those, shoulder injuries. We talked about, the hamate bone, like shoulder injuries, man, like time, like how, like, look, we know that this isn't quite as bad as like the Corbin Carroll shoulder injury, but look at what that does to a player. You can't swing around as fast on a ball, right? At the plate, you're not going to be as aggressive. It really does affect you. And sometimes it's just in your head. Maybe he's fine. Maybe in a couple of days he come out like, all of a sudden, it's like he's playing. He's totally good. We're all good. But if I'm drafting tomorrow and nothing else has come out, I'll probably drop him below Skubal. I'll drop him below, J-Rod or drop him below probably Carroll at this point. I'll drop him 3-4 spots. Still be a first-round pick because I think he's that good, but that is a concern.
Okay.
All right. Next
Joe.
up.
Sorry, I was trying to look up something. Yeah, so go over here. The Royals, AJ, your favorite Italian, Jac Caglianone. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Caglianone. I don't know.
Caglianone. Yeah.
Are they? Man, they've been talking about platooning him. Do you think this is actually like a real thing, or he's just got to prove them wrong?
I will say both. Total cop out, but yeah, I think
It depends.
Yeah.
All right, Dave Eddie.
We'll see. No, I mean, when he came up last year, he played in 62 games. He only had 7 homers, average just south of 160, OBP south of 240. I mean, hell, we look at averages now as like 240 being average. That was his OBP. Slugging, nothing to be, desired. Again, small sample size. I definitely expect him to play, more games than that. Obviously, assuming health, I would project him maybe a little under twice that amount. But yeah, he's just been underwhelming, and he's projected to be their platoon guy, versus right-handed pitchers. I mean, who else are they looking at in his place, though? Old ass Starling Marte and Lane Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're getting better stats out of them, but I think as the season goes on and he gets a little more comfortable, against big league pitching, the pedigree was there. Same thing, that we were talking about earlier. Pedigree's there. I think he will absolutely outplay what we've seen. But I'm a little trepidatious to start the season.
That's fair.
So, moving on from the Royals to the Tigers. This is where we want to just jump in and talk about FanDuel here. Again, our show is now sponsored by FanDuel. Make sure you get out there and get your bets in. I mean, that's what they're there for. You got all kinds of any kind of parlay you want to go after. This is the place to go. Get your bets in, and they have everything. Like any sport you would even not want to bet on, they have it, and they will make you want to bet on it. So definitely check them out, especially with baseball coming up. The DFS is still there as well, but they
bet on some cycling. Let's go.
Yes, exactly.
For real. I'm not even kidding. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Table tennis and cycling. Let's go.
Dude, Lance Armstrong and some dude from that table tennis movie that was out.
Little back in the day.
Timothy Chalamet.
Richard
Yes.
would like this. Got a little snooker action on here as well.
Hell yeah.
Let's
I
do
mean,
it, man. All right.
I don't even know what that is.
Anything you want.
It's I don't
kinda
know
like
either.
Billiards and pool, but somehow different.
Okay. Thank you.
It's like
Fair
I don't know.
description because I don't know
played it,
either.
so.
All I know is Richard every year when the Snooker World Championships are up, he puts it on Discord. Sorry, I'm busy watching the Snooker World Championships, and it's like, nobody asked anything from you, but cool, man. This you do you. It's like it's like at a time where like he's not writing any football content, but he just tells everybody anyway. You're like, okay, man. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. All right. So with that, FanDuel likely has lots of bets this year for Tarik Skubal. Right now, his over-under on FanDuel is 224 and a half strikeouts. Corey, are we going over or under on that?
Yeah, that's really high, but he's really good. So last couple of years, the 228 and the 241. 224 is really high, though. I would probably take the under because I'm a massive hater. And not that I want to be, but all it takes is for him to just get sick, miss a start instead of starting.
Yeah, he'll misses 3 stars. You're done, dude.
That's the thing. It doesn't take a whole lot. So the safe money is on the under, but I hope he goes over that. So I will say under, but ride or die, I understand it, dude. If anyone wants to bet the over, ride or die.
I mean, my projections have him over, but man, I totally get it, dude. But like that's tough, man. I probably would bet the under. I think the under is the safer bet. The over is like the risky play. Maybe it's one of those things where like you put a little bit on the under, put a little, you put a little on the which one's plus money, which one or any.
Yeah, I didn't get the money.
I didn't even look at that. Strikeouts. Yeah. Let's see here. So we got. Where is he? I'm looking at it now. Skubal. They're both at negative 113. Oh my god. So yeah, never mind on that one. So don't do what I just said. But
you win either way.
I mean, you would just split your money, but
yeah.
I would probably go the under. I think that's a safer one, just in case a couple starts get missed or whatever.
He could get rained out, miss 2 starts, and miss that for you. That's like the type of stuff that could happen.
Yeah,
Detroit, a little bit of snow in there or something.
Yeah. Detroit, definitely. Yeah,
so
that is totally.
I'll
fair.
take the under as the safer bet, but I get it if you wanted to go with the over. Moving on to Minnesota here. This one is for Joe. Kind of a similar question to a question we had earlier. He asked it of AJ, and it is, other than Joe Ryan, who I know we will all be willing to take, any other pitcher that you're going to be willing to draft from the Minnesota Twins, Joe?
Matt
not because I really want to, but I did take Taj Bradley because why not? Although, to be fair, that was Slam in round like 36. So it was kind of like
traditional size league. You're taking any of them?
No. I mean, I know people still really like Bailey over. I just can't with him, man. It's funny, like I rage dropped him like a couple of years ago, like after the first start when he got absolutely destroyed. I literally looked at it and went, I didn't really like you anyway. Out. And then he blew up. He was awesome for like another like 2 months. And then he kind of sucked again. And I was like, all right, I feel a little better. But it's just, yeah, and then last year was just not great for him. It feels like one of those pitchers where like everybody wants to like him. Like Chris Paddock, man, like for years was like, oh, but he's so good. He's got to be good. Or he can just suck and we can just own it. Like, let's just realize we were wrong and just own it. That's Bailey Ober. He doesn't suck. He's just not great. So I don't want him either. And now his ADP is outside of the 300. Taj Bradley, though, this is one of those guys where, like, I mean, I took him outside of like pick 400. So, like, whatever, man. Like, at that point, who cares? But it's just one of those guys where, like, if he can figure out a little bit of command, he'll strike out 10 dudes in an outing and no problem. He still has that in him.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Chris Paddock. I had a very, very strong rage drop of him last year.
Dap Scout loves some Chris Paddock. Remember him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Loved Chris Paddock. Wow.
Dap or Hope are listening. Hope you're listening, man. We love you. Please come back.
Yeah. Hope you're well, buddy.
Come talk to us, man.
I can't remember which start it was now, but it was a late pickup for like an afternoon game, and I think I dropped him in like the second inning because he was just getting lit up.
That sounds like an AJ
several
move.
Christmas trees in a mall that nobody even shops in anymore. But yeah,
what's a mall? I'm just kidding. I mean, fair question, maybe. All right. Anyway, AJ, White Sox. Talk about Trash League. Yeah.
What are you guys doing to me here? You give me all these awesome teams. I mean, I gotta thank you. White Sox.
You're the one who put the names down. You're the one who put the names down. This is your fault, by the way.
True.
You only blame yourself. Is there anybody from this team? I mean, I'm just gonna say anybody on this team that you are targeting. And it was supposed to be
You could be anybody. That's true.
I will put anybody. Is there legit anybody you are feeling good about on this team?
I mean, the only player that I am relatively interested in late is leadoff hitter Chase Meidroth. I mean, again, we talk about it all the time, how great it is to find guys that you know are going to get at bats later in drafts. He's one of them. You know, he was serviceable last year for times. He went on little stretches. He's shortstop and second base eligible, so he's got some flexibility there. Again, I mean, other than that, though, I don't love him, but if I have to take someone, I'm going to go with somebody I know is going to get at bats, get to the plate. Spring training, not looking super hot, 238, 396.
Are you sure?
But look, man, we can't believe in spring training stats. Come on.
Sure, man. So I'm going to say a little under the radar is Austin Hayes. I still think he's another guy, ex-Oriole. Yeah. Maybe that's just kind of
And
playing
that's
into it. But good when he's given a chance, right? And I think with the White Sox, like who's taking his spot, right? So I think he's a solid guy. And Earth League draft, it's funny, like I was looking through my Earth League draft and I was like, man, I have a lot of White Sox on this team, but I realized I drafted them all in like rounds. It was like 26, 27, 29, and 30. It's like, who cares at that point? Like, at least I knew they were getting playing time. Guys are taking players who may not even make their roster. And I'm like, good luck with that. Murakami is probably the one who you really need to be like, yeah, let's take a chance, right? Because you just don't know. He's actually been really good in the spring.
Absolutely.
I think 353. Granted, only 17 at bats because I'm assuming that's World Baseball Classic is the reason why his at bats are low. But we know the power should be there. It's going to be the strikeout numbers that really diminish his value or his return. But that's the one for me that, like, if you've missed out on a bunch of the third basemen, why not take a shot? Because the replacement value probably isn't going to be much worse.
Yep. The only other one that I'd mention is for a pitcher, if I like the very last pick in a 15-team draft, I will take Anthony Kay. Coming over from Korea, I believe he was in Korea this season, or maybe it was Japan, and he's had a nice spring training, 16 innings, 15 strikeouts to 6 walks, pitched really well. I'll take him very late and take my chances. And again, if it's kind of like Max Scherzer, if it doesn't work, I'll drop him, but that's really it.
Yeah, he was Nippon.
Last thing I will add is the very first, the 101 pick, I took one of Corey's busts, Colson Montgomery, in the trash league. So that says a lot.
Thank you. I like that.
I don't know if you saw that, noticed it.
I didn't notice that. No.
Yeah,
I did not notice that. Nice.
I did a little crunching on the numbers and was like, Colson Montgomery sitting very at the top. I'm just gonna do it because I don't know anything about this league. Let's have some fun. And that was
All right. I mean, they're spelling Murikama at first base. So
nice.
If he switches off with Vargas, gets some time over there, and gets that full lockup on the corner, could get that. So
that'll help too.
All right, finish things out here with the AL West, and we will start with the Anaheim Angels or Los Angeles Angels, the team that's somewhere, whatever, the Angels.
California.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I know there's another stupid one. The Walt Disney Land baseball team. So we got another late injury to report here with Zach Neto's wrist. I mean, are you dropping him because of this? Justified?
He's already back in the lineup. He played. We're recording this on Wednesday. He did play on Tuesday, so I'm good. I'm not worried about it at all at this point. If he's already back playing in spring training, I would imagine the team's not too worried about it either. Sounds like he just sort of jammed, minor left hand sprain. He's got another week to get over, a sprain of the wrist or whatever, possibly. And I don't think that's anything to worry about. We know Zach Neto's talent. I'm not holding back.
All right.
Cool.
Fair enough.
The Houston Astros, we've all professed our love for Jeremy Pena when we were doing certain things throughout this. But when Jeremy Pena comes back, the Houston Astros have too many good players. It's a good problem to have for them. And one of them is going to have to go to the bench. So their current infield is Christian Walker at first base, Jose Altuve back at second. Right now, Carlos Correa at short and Isaac Paredes at third. But when Jeremy Pena slides in, he goes probably to short. Who misses out on the playing time, AJ?
I mean, I think it's going to be the reincarnation of Correa mostly. It is a good problem to have, like Joe said, depending on or like you said, the trash can. That's why I was thinking because he had mentioned trash league. So, whoever gets the best effects with the trash cans, they're going to get the playing time, obviously. But yeah, I think Correa is going to get the hook here more than anybody else. If anything, though, Altuve can slide back into the outfield too. He did play a lot there last year, so see what comes of that. He had 47 games in left field, so he'll play wherever. He's going to play every game for the most part, but I don't really see him losing time. I'll put my money on Correa.
Cool.
All right. Let's go over here to talk about a team who doesn't have a city, AJ. The Athletics. Sacramento? I don't know. We'll just leave it as
Pacific Coast.
Athletics. Yeah. They're the still in California Athletics. Nick Kurtz, Corey. I don't think anybody's actually expecting the full season pace from last season, but how close can he actually get to that?
I mean, I should try to calculate what the full season pace would be.
Oh, it is bonkers. I actually did do it, and I forgot about that actually.
It would be, let's see if Baseball Reference does it for you. 125 runs, 50 home runs, 119 RBIs, 290. I mean, that would be really good.
That's pretty good.
You would probably go very high in your draft. I would, if I'm going to project it, I think he's going to be awesome. I'm willing to take him at his second round price. Do I think he's going to hit 50 home runs? No. But do I think I'm going to get 180 runs in RBI? Yeah, I think I'll get that. Probably 100 RBI, something like that. And he hit 36 home runs in 117 games last year. If I got at least 35 home runs in 160 games, it might seem like, he's such a big downturn or big step back. You'd be perfectly happy with that, right? I think he's basically Pete Alonso, and I think the batting average doesn't sit at 290. I think the batting average falls off a little bit, and I think you get basically what you've gotten out of Pete Alonso the last few years, which is 80 to 90 runs, 35 to 40 home runs. Maybe if he has a good year, maybe he can push his 45, 100 plus RBI, and the batting average is going to sit somewhere between, like, if it's an unlucky year, you might hit 235. If it's a little bit luckier year, he can push it into the 260s. He's an awesome player. I am perfectly happy taking him in the second round, and I will do it if almost any time that, if I'm picking anywhere like 1 through 5, a lot of times that's kind of who I target at the back of it because I feel like I've already got somebody with speed. And so then I'll just take Nick Kurtz and rake the power, and that's kind of where I think he's at.
Can I throw something at you that I put in my first base draft strategy article about Nick Kurtz?
Sure.
He had a strikeout rate of 30.9. If we're using I did some math here. I did some data, crunching here. Using a 400 plate appearance threshold, only 6 of 45 batters that had a 26% strikeout rate or greater had a batting average over 260. If you push that to 28%, push that to 28%, it's just 1, and it was him last year. To me, like, if he cannot fix this strikeout rate, we are seeing that batting average just die. And yeah, you're right. That's Pete Alonso to a T. Like, we've seen it go up and down, right? Can he just like crush it? Sure. But there's 23 out of 45 of those players had a batting average of 240 or worse. Sure. That is staggering to me. And it like that. Cool, the counting stats are awesome, but taking a guy in the second round like that who's going to give me a 240 average, there's not a lot of players that I'm drafting that early that are going to give me that bad of a batting average. That's what concerns me.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got another FanDuel promotion. This time, we're looking at Brian Wu with an over-under of 179.5 Ks. Joe, what say you on this betting line?
179 Ks. Really doesn't sound that high for him. The problem with Wu, right, is he's got some injury concerns.
Yeah.
Injury history, injury concerns, whatever, all mixed in together. If he stays healthy, I think that's a no-brainer, right? So I would probably still go the over for that. I have got him around 189 strikeouts, so he does have a little bit of a cushion there. But if he goes on the IL and misses 2-3 weeks, that is toast. It is a huge risk with any pitcher predicting these, win totals, strikeout totals, things like that. These guys get injured all the time, and they'll miss 2-3 weeks because maybe they're not super injured, but their shoulder's not feeling great, or it's just fatigued, and teams are just going to shut them down, especially if they're good. Dodgers, right, do it all the time, and dodgering, the Mariners, if they're rolling again, maybe they just go, you know what, we'll just sit you down for a couple weeks, figure it out, get good, and then that strikeout total is done. I'm so optimistic, I would probably go over.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, his average for 23-24, where he played a combined, 40 games. Clearly he's missing time there. He had a little under 100, averaged between those two seasons last year, all the way up to 198 in 30 starts. So I would be skeptical on this one. I feel like I would take the safer pick for me is the under on this still because of the injury risk, injury history. Going back to Meatloaf, opposite day, 2 out of 3 is bad for him. Strikeout totals for a season.
Corey, I have no idea what you're talking about.
We already touched on Meatloaf, Corey. God damn it. You were supposed to do some homework.
I know that he's a singer. That's what I got.
No, you don't. Oh, no. You don't even know that. You still think he's a food.
I detest meatloaf. Did I ever tell you that? That is like my least favorite food. My mother even admitted that her meatloaf was terrible when we were growing up, and it's still terrible. So I am like permanently scarred on meatloaf.
Please tell me you know where that quote's from.
What?
Ma, meatloaf.
No.
Oh my god, that's not.
That's old. Like your millennial age.
That's like Wedding Crashers, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Or no?
Thank you.
No,
is it?
It's Wedding Crashers.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Stop
You're right.
That one I got. Yeah. I had to think about that one for a second. Okay, yeah, that one I got.
Oh my god.
I had to think about that one. Yeah. Okay.
Corey.
Bring us home here. I got it. Last one.
Right.
Bringing us home.
Right.
Actually, AJ's bringing us home, but I'll ask the last question.
Yeah.
Which new Rangers acquisition do you want for fantasy baseball? The Rangers brought in these two specifically. Brandon Nimmo with an ADP of 118, so just inside the 10th round. Mackenzie Gore at 144, so a couple rounds later. If you can take only one, AJ, which one are you taking?
I can take only one.
Or actually, if you really want, you can take both, I guess.
I don't. Interesting enough, both of these guys came from the NL East as well. I think I'm leaning Nimmo. And no, it's not because he came from the Mets. No, Incorrect.
You walked right into that one. And you
I knew I did. I'm looking at the picture, and it's like still got the Mets hat on. He's still got a good amount of power. He's going to get you, mid-20s for homers. Average is still there in the 250, 260 range. He's just a good player. I mean, he's probably a better baseball player than fantasy player. We talk about that all the time, but I do like Nimmo more because of Gore's potential for like starting really hot, and that's when you need to try to trade him, and then falling flat for weeks on end until he finally has like another outlier good start.
1000% agree with that. that pick, AJ. Mackenzie Gore is no, I'm good, man. That start last year was awesome, but he turned right into a big pumpkin really quickly on that. I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm out of him.
Nimmo right now, again, projected to be a leadoff hitter. So, you got Langford, Corey Seager, and, Burgertown USA behind him.
I like it, man. I like it.
We
got him in Raz Slam, so I like it a lot. So,
all right.
All 30 teams.
Yeah, so that is it, guys. No, little long for a show, but 30 teams, that's a lot to talk about. But look, these are the types of things you all need to know before your drafts right here before the season starts. The other thing that can help you is our cheat sheets over on Fantasy Six Pack. They are completely revamped this year. I've added a lot of cool features, and go check that out. There's a video over on our YouTube channel. It is pinned to the top of our channel where I walk through both of the cheat sheets and our draft tracker, which is funnily usable, by the way. You used to have to hand type all in all the stats to track your draft. It is now just pick the player from a drop down list on the per position. Just fills in everything for you. It is amazing. It makes everything so much easier. And again, especially for those fast drafts, it makes it actually usable. It's awesome. Promo code F6P pods. And look, if you haven't moved your drafts over to Fantrax yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Absolutely the best place to play fantasy baseball. I don't know what else to say. We've been saying it forever. A lot of the other shows on this channel have been saying it forever. I literally do not play fantasy baseball anywhere else unless I have to. That is where I choose to play all my leagues, and there's a reason for it. So I would hope you would try it out and go do the same. That's it. I think next week we're going to be recording on opening day. Well, the day after opening day.
Opening day for every game.
We got to get that one game
other than the weird game.
Yeah. But
MLB is NFL can take over.
Maybe we'll have a little fun and do that one live, because I think that one would be a little more fun live. Let's just maybe go for it.
On Thursday,
we'll talk about it. Yeah, Thursday. Do that one live. See what we can do. Orioles are not here that week. I don't know. We'll figure it out off.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I'm like, well,
I don't think they're starting it. Anyway, we will figure it out. But good luck drafting if you all have drafts still left. If not, good luck for the season. Check out the draft kit on Fantasy Six Pack. And thank you for listening all spring training, and good luck. We will see you all in the season. Bye.
Cheers.
Don't draft well if you're against me.
Yeah. Bye.
Draft back.